Hello. Okay, there we go. For some reason, the microphones have been slow to work today, but we are back with continuing severe weather coverage, and we have these storms that came in just kind of on the back side of this thing, and we got a break at least. I didn't expect there to be elevated hailstorms on the backside of this system here. But these storms, what we are seeing is there's a warning for possibly considerable damage. These could be golf ball sized hail producers in these storms. So Hill County primarily, and then that's going to lead eventually into parts of Ellis County and headed right towards Italy there. So let's kind of get focused in here just on looking at a couple of things. Really the two stronger storms, there's one headed right into southern Ellis County here, and then one back in Bosque County. If I had to guess, this is probably the storm that prompted the warning here, but we're still looking at some hail possible in that northern storm as well. There's another severe thunderstorm warning farther to the south here. If we pan this out just a little bit from near Hewitt through McLennan County on up into parts of, let's see, that like grazes. I want to get the details before I want to go any further on this one. See if that's another considerable, yeah. So McLennan County and Limestone County here, part of Hill County, and this is listed also as another golf ball size hail producer. So these two areas have these elevated storms coming through, and it looks like this may be just kind of one last push of energy before I think after this, surely we're going to wrapping this up. One of the problems here is that this kind of stalled out, and so as it moves, as all of this continues to gradually trend southward, that will help get it out of the way. But this is going to be for our southern areas, so southern Ellis County, Hill County, Navarro County. Those are the areas that are going to have these storms pushing through and continuing to move in. Very heavy rain with these, some lightning and thunder as well, large hail possible. So golf ball sized hail is possible with these storms. So you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to these. In the rest of the area, if we kind of pan this out a little bit, you can see that everything's kind of stalled here, and now it's just riding along this, and we've had just a few that managed to pop up and kind of get right on the southern edge of Ellis County, right through Hill County. It does look like Cleburne and Waxahachie probably won't see these. There's also been a little bit of new development here, just kind of on the backside there. But this little cluster of storms, just a stubborn little cluster of strong to severe thunderstorms pushing through. And the main issue here is going to be hail. Now, I also want to bring to your attention that the flash flood warnings have been allowed to expire. You notice those are not there. I believe the tornado watch has been canceled for all of these counties as well. That threat is farther south at this point. So at this point, all we're really concerned about is larger hail, but golf ball sized hail can definitely do some damage. So let's get that paused here for you. And you can see again, one storm moving into the Milford area. These things are moving fairly quickly as well. What are we looking at? 40, 50 miles per hour here. Moving northeast at it says 30 miles an hour, but it looks like they're moving quicker than that. So this one moving into the Milford, Italy area right now, that's going to be a potential hail producer. And then I would say that there's a very least small hail. Could be some larger hail with that. I would say quarter to half dollar sized hail. And then I think this one back here, the one moving towards the Whitney area, this is probably the one that prompted the warning initially and is the larger hail producer of the two. But either way, any of these storms, they're taking advantage of whatever leftover lift is there behind all of these storms that we had earlier today to move right through this part of the area. So this first storm will continue to move to the northeast. And yes, I already see the questions coming up. It does look like that could be headed towards the Ennis area here. So headed towards Ennis here, going really could be right along 34 there. So that will be a concern as we go through the next several minutes. I want to put something else kind of in my, kind of in the corner of my eye here. Okay, and keep that on the screen as well. So yes, I expect this storm to move right up 34 through Italy, Avalon, getting my A's mixed up here, from Italy to Avalon, Bardwell to Ennis. So I think that area, that corridor, can expect this hail-producing storm. I don't see a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for that one, so it looks like that may be below severe limits. We may see a warning here in just a few minutes. It's this storm on the other side of Whitney that is going to be the larger hail producer of the two, or at least from what we understand with the National Weather Service. And then down to the south in the Waco area, this storm moving across. And this storm near Wortham is just on the south side of Navarro County. So if you're in southern Navarro County, this one's going to graze you. Looks like the most intense part of that storm will probably stay south of there. At this point, it does not look like, Laurie, it does not look like it's going to move towards the Maypearl area. This storm is tracking south of Maypearl. You'll see it, you may hear it, but it's going to be south of the Maypearl area at that point. So not a big issue for that area. If you're north of this storm, you're really not seeing very much, but we do have these little rogue hail producers right here in the southern parts of our area that popped up and are cruising right on through. And again, the warning says about 30 miles per hour. They look like they're moving faster than that to me. So I'm going to guess closer to 40 or so in terms of how fast they're moving. The good news is we shouldn't see any widespread flooding from this. But I do think that we could very well see at least maybe some localized flooding from these, just because there is a lot of rain that is likely falling in a short amount of time. So, Sarah, you're asking about Friday. I haven't really had a chance to look ahead today, so we'll have the forecast out again tomorrow. I will tell you showers and thunderstorms are possible Friday, but I don't have a lot of detail right now. Haven't had a chance to do much more than this today. So this storm moving right into the Italy area right now, and again, I expect that to kind of just go right up 34, and we'll see it in Waxahachie, but it does look like there will be a pretty decent likelihood of that moving towards the Ennis area. Does look like it stays south of Waxahachie. And Amanda saying that you say there was pea-sized hail in Abbott so far, just a lot of rain and thunder. So yeah, I mean, you know, it looks like you're kind of in between these storms in Abbott and West there. So that is definitely understandable. But it's this particular storm back to the back that's just now moving into the Whitney area that has the larger hail potential with that. Quarter-size hail reported in Carl's Corner. So that's going to be this storm moving towards the Italy area. So that may need its own warning now that it's kind of moved out of that polygon as it rides 34 up towards 45 and just kind of goes through that intersection there and then eventually up into Kaufman County. So this is just going to kind of pass through, and my hope is that maybe this will be done after this. I mean, we thought we were done when that first round moved through, but we still have some lift there that these storms are taking advantage of, and eventually, though, overnight, we will see this trend continue on to the south. But the flash flood warnings have been allowed to expire. Those have been either expired or canceled, one of the two. And there are more flash flood warnings to the southwest. Just had a new one issued for Anderson County, including Palestine, but that's Palestine rather. That is allowed to that's ongoing because of how much rain has moved that way. The majority of that, of course, has moved south. Pea to marble size hail reported in Milford. And Debbie Turner, doesn't look like it's moving towards northern Waxahachie. You can see on the radar where the storms are, and doesn't look like it's moving. It would have to move due north at that point, and it's moving eastward, so northeast that is. So it doesn't look like it is headed towards the Waxahachie area. Josh, we're asking, what does the mean probably looks like for the... so I'm guessing you're asking what's going to happen with the storm over Wortham. It's a little hard to understand your question, but this storm will continue to the northeast, moving mostly across parts of, Freestone County there, parts of Richland Chambers Reservoir there, but mostly down towards the Fairfield area as it continues on to the northeast. And then, there's more storms in the Waco area right now that will move towards the Limestone, Freestone County area as well. April, the Waco area, you can see on radar, we do have another severe storm that is ongoing there. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning. So again, like these other storms, it is a hail producer. So large hail is possible with that storm, and it could be up to golf ball size hail at least. So just keep that in mind as you're out and about in the Waco area. Give this one time to move through before you're out and about too much. But if we kind of zoom this out once again, you can see that out to the west, and I've been asked this question a few times, out towards Abilene, you can see a little thunderstorm brewing out there. I don't expect a fresh round of storms from out west. I'm not seeing that happening, but we will see a few more of these little pop-up storms that are just kind of passing through here. And I think most of those stay south of us, but we did manage to get a few of these just right on the back side of that complex that are moving through. Yet if you're asking, is the Whitney storm heading to Hillsborough and Carl's Corner next? That would be the natural track of it, yes. So it does look like it's headed to the Hillsborough area, probably closer to Carl's Corner on the other side. So that is what we are watching. So lots of questions about Ennis. I have a feeling we're going to be answering that question a lot, but let me just kind of reiterate here a couple of things. One, here is that storm moving into Whitney that will be headed to Hillsborough. You are in that warning. So if you're in the severe thunderstorm warning, expect that this storm could impact you. So it will move towards the Hillsborough area and then eventually on towards the Carl's Corner area. And then the Italy area, you do have that storm now. We're getting reports of small hail there. And then we will continue on to watch this storm, which is also producing small hail towards the Ennis area. So yes, we do have a hail-producing storm that is headed towards the Ennis area. Patty, to answer your question, it looks like that will stay south of Palmer. That's assuming it doesn't build a little bit farther north, which it could. But right now, it looks like it stays south of Palmer, just going right along 34 into the Ennis area. And if we let's put the vertically integrated liquid on here, and that will show us our hail cores. One small hail core there, moving towards the Italy area, kind of right in the, unfortunately, the vertically integrated liquid generally is a slower model, so we happen to kind of get that one a little bit late here. But you can see that there is one smaller hail core there, one near Hillsborough, not quite as severe, but the most intense right now near Whitney, and then another one there northwest of Crawford. So that Crawford storm looks like that will probably be more on the southern fringes of our area. The one headed to Whitney right now, that is the most intense storm that is in our area. That is what prompted that severe thunderstorm warning. And you will notice that if you take a look at that warning, they have marked it as considerable damage possible. And that is because we are looking at golf ball sized hail. Golf ball sized hail can do quite a bit. So just don't underestimate that. It is a large hail situation as these storms pass through. Joshua, yes, okay, well, let me move here. Joshua has he's covering this area well today. So yes, there is a hail core south of just south, really on the south side of the Wortham area as well. A pretty decent sized hail core there too. So let's get back to the reflectivity radar here, which is what you're normally used to seeing. So that storm moving through Italy, again, like we said, that is moving towards the Ennis area. The storm near Whitney, that will move towards Hillsborough here in the next several minutes. And then there are stronger storms in McLennan County there, just to the southeast of Waco, headed towards Hallsburg. That will move more towards Limestone and Freestone counties. That's going to be probably either south of our area or just barely on the southern end of our area. So this is what we have, and these storms continue to pass through. They're not really intensifying too much from what I can see, at least the one near Italy. I don't think it's picking up too much steam at this point. But near Whitney, that storm does look like it could be picking up some steam as it moves through. So we will have to let this cluster pass through, and then hopefully by that point we are done for tonight. I thought we might get off easy and get this stuff out of here before sunset, but it looks like, 8 o'clock, we may still achieve that goal. But for the most part, I do think that we just have to deal with these storms for about another, couple of hours in our area, about another hour or two in our area. So we're not having a fun time here in north central Texas. We had all of the activity earlier today that brought the flooding rains. And I just don't think that hail is necessary, but apparently Mother Nature thinks that we need another helping of it across the area. Of course, we didn't have a whole lot of hail before, not a whole lot of hail in the storms that we had earlier today. Had some reports of small hail, but this is the first time that we've had reports of those larger hailstones moving through our area here. And the storm near the Italy area, that's going to continue on. Looks like Palmer may get clipped by this one, but I think the heaviest activity, will move towards the Ennis area. And then obviously, you can see that just that black area, that very intense hail core moving right towards the Hillsborough area. So I'm hearing that, dime to quarter size hail. Michaela, I see your comment there. Dime to quarter size hail reported in Whitney. So I see it. I got it. Holly, that's what we've been talking about, that there's a large hail situation headed for Hillsborough. That is the main feature of that storm. If we look at the velocities here, I'm not seeing a whole lot of wind with these storms, or I haven't quite yet. Yeah, I'm not seeing really any intense winds right now with any of these storms. I think this is going to be solely a hail threat for the moment here across our area. And so we'll get back to that reflectivity. Let's see here. I think that's all the questions we've got. I know a lot of the questions are repeat questions, so if you haven't had your question answered yet, odds are you will soon. So kind of hang with me here. Turn that volume down there. Okay, and I apologize if you can hear children in the background there. So they like to be quite noisy. So these storms that are moving through are sort of part of the round we had before. They're just kind of on the back side of it and taking advantage of whatever lift, whatever energy we have left on the back side of this storm system. And I don't think that we have anything after. I couldn't imagine getting another round of this tonight. Unless this continues to stall out and just sit, then I suppose that's possible. But you can see that generally everything is, I don't know, I would say gradually moving southeastward. Obviously not quick enough if we've still got storms in our area here, but it looks like it's probably fairly stalled in terms of the overall kind of movement of all of this. So in Navarro County right now, and so you're asking about Mildred, Eureka. For Navarro County right now, we have one storm that is just kind of clipping the Richland Chambers Reservoir there, and then we do have a stronger storm moving out of Hill County that is headed that direction. So that's what we have going on in the Navarro County area. Let's get zoomed back in here. Not too close. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay, and Brunner, you said these are fast moving. If asking if I agree, I mean, the warning says 30 miles an hour. Just looking at these, it's got to be moving quicker than that. So I would think closer to, 40 miles per hour or so in terms of movement. So not exactly booking it, but moving relatively quickly, quicker than some other storms do when they're only moving 20 or 30. So I would say, kind of an average speed for these storms, but that is good news for those areas that have been dealing with flooding today. They don't need any more persistent storms. And you'll notice this storm near Italy does look, to me at least, to be weakening a little bit. Now it's lifting northward a little more, so there may be parts of southern Waxahachie that end up getting this after all. It's kind of, you can see that it's kind of almost building northward there. So it is headed mostly to the Ennis area though. So Italy going to start calming down for at least a little bit. We'll see if these storms back in Hill County can graze the Italy-Milford area there. But for the most part, I think most of this will go to the south of Ellis County. And then, behind all of this, we get at very least another break. Could be able to skip out on this all together here. So I'm going to continue to monitor this. And, large hail is the primary concern with these storms. If we look back, and again, far to the west, there is that storm west of Eastland there, east of Abilene, that I don't expect really anything to come out of that at this point. But we will continue to monitor these storms. The main one is going to be this one moving through Hill County now. Now I'm curious, if we look at that storm, you can see that it definitely intensified. It was moving out of Bosque County into Hill County. I'm curious to see if this one weakens. Our area has been worked over quite a bit, and temperatures are quite cool. That may be a contributing factor to the hail as well. The fact that there's cooler temperatures, and it's not taking quite as much work to make hailstones out of this storm, because if you're dealing with a 80-degree day, that means it's got to go higher in the storm. You got to lose more temperature with altitude to cool those raindrops down and make hail. So that may be a factor with that as well. Bo Collins, would you say the tornado threat is for Fairfield area or still fairly decent? I would say that it's a very low threat for Fairfield to get a tornado, just by virtue really of the fact that you're behind this leading edge. That's where I would expect to see any rotation. And then you're in rain-cooled air. And I'm sure most of this is probably elevated at this point. I don't expect tornadoes to be an issue going forward, really in any of our area, but in the Fairfield specifically. So I would say I can't ever say it's completely impossible, but I would say it's a pretty low chance of any tornadic activity. And Cody, you're asking about Blooming Grove. I mean, you can see on the radar that we do have a heavy thunderstorm heading into the Blooming Grove area. So what you see is what you get there. We got heavy rain, frequent lightning and thunder moving into the Blooming Grove area, and then we will have to watch that severe storm west of Hillsborough to see if that will move into the Blooming Grove area as well, or if that will take a right turn and go due east more into other parts of Navarro County. Blake Neal, there's no tornadoes in Waco right now, so not quite sure what you're referring to there. William saying there's a report of large hail in Whitney. Not sure what you're referring to, and not sure what size you're talking about, but I would imagine with this storm there are probably reports of some large hail in the Whitney area. I mean, that's, this storm, you can see the warning has been pulled back there just to Hill County now, but that storm was warned for the capability, at least, of producing golf ball size hail. I haven't heard any reports of golf ball size hail yet, but it is possible, and that's why they added that considerable damage tag, because with golf ball size hail, considerable damage is definitely possible with those storms. The good news is that storm near Italy does look like it continues to be on a bit of a weakening trend. We'll take these sort of one at a time. I want to look at Ellis County here. So here's that storm grazing southern parts of Waxahachie and then moving towards the Garrett-Ennis area. Joshua, yeah, don't worry. I saw your message. I saw your comment. I'm happy to occasionally cover Freestone County. So that's, yeah, you're very welcome. Southern Ellis County. This is where we have this. And I mean, if you're looking at that little notch there, I wouldn't take that into consideration at this point. I don't think that we have any kind of really anything showing up on velocity. It's let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's got me concerned about that. So if you see any hook-ish shaped looking stuff, don't be too concerned about that right now. So I've got several questions coming in, so just give me a few minutes here. We have this storm that still could bring some small hail. I'm not expecting too much more out of this storm. It is headed towards the Ennis area, so expect some small hail from Bardwell to Ennis out of this storm. But again, I'm not expecting anything too terribly intense. The stronger storm we have is right here in Hill County. This is the one that just went through Whitney, is headed towards the Hillsborough area. May be very gradually weakening here. Hard to say, but it'll be interesting to see if that turns into the trend as this continues to go into cooler temperatures, continues to go into more stable air for sure. So we'll watch what that does. That we may be able to kind of knock this one down a few notches as it continues to move into cool air, because I mean we're at 61 degrees here at the studio, and so very, very cool air. Not that severe storms are not possible in cool air, but they tend to do better in warmer, unstable air. So we just kind of have to pay attention to that and kind of keep that in mind. Reagan Minter saying that there's no hail in Hillsborough yet. I mean, it hadn't made it to Hillsborough yet, so it's still on your west side. Storm just hit the Peoria area with rain, midpoint between Whitney and Hillsborough. Yeah, so that's where you're seeing the storm right now. So it's still in transit, still en route to the Hillsborough area, but it will make it there. And we'll pull up the vertically integrated liquid here just to look at the trends of precipitation. It looks for the most part like that hail core, and this is behind a few minutes here. This is about 7 minutes old here, but it does look like that particular storm, and that I'm getting. We'll talk about this storm downstream here in just a few moments. But this particular storm looks like it may gradually weaken here as it moves into Hillsborough and then eventually on towards parts of southern Ellis County. And again, I do not expect storms west of our area out in West Texas to reach us tonight. It just doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So the stronger storm, I know there's folks downstream asking about that. So this storm is going to continue on northeastward through Hillsborough, more east-northeast, and then looks like that will go kind of possibly right along the county line here from between Milford and Blooming Grove, and then on, again, kind of following a similar track to this storm, possibly south of that though, as this one does look like it might have more of an easterly push there. Sometimes you have these severe storms that like to take a right turn, and so we may very well see that as it continues to move eastward here. Getting a few messages here. It sounds like Sounds like the hail that hit Italy was fairly unimpressive at this point. So not looking like, it's not looking a whole lot like the Italy storm is reaching severe limits. That could be on a weakening trend. That's going to continue on towards the Ennis area. And then the storm south of Milford, right there, moving into parts of northwestern Navarro County here. That one also doesn't look severe at this point. Mostly a heavy rain producer at this point. So I think that's mostly what we will be dealing with for tonight. Troy, Texas, I think that's out of our area, isn't it? Because if I am not mistaken, let me look. Unless I'm getting two things mixed up. Again, I apologize for all the noise from the kiddos. They love to be really loud right outside the door. Yeah, Troy, Texas is going to be a little out of my area, so I apologize, but we do not cover the Troy, Texas area. But yeah, west of Hillsboro, looks like that storm isn't quite as intense as it was. Could still be a hail producer here. And then this storm going to continue to move on to the east towards the Ennis area. Small hail in that one. And it didn't sound like there was really a whole lot of it to begin with. So the Whitney area, you're clearing out of that storm. You're going to get another break here, assuming that we're not just completely done, which would be great. But this storm moving through Hillsboro, that will be moving over towards really the kind of the Tri-County area here, from Ellis County, Hill, and Navarro, right at that southern tip of Ellis County, right there near Milford and Carl's Corner. So that storm headed, it's headed almost due east at this point. Well, it's still northeast. It's a little deceiving because the shape of the storm looks like it would be moving more due east, but looks like it could kind of move up 35E here towards Milford and then along 34 again. But does look like this stuff stays south of Waxahachie. I know there's some folks in parts of Waxahachie that see this storm, and if you're between Waxahachie and Ennis there, you're definitely getting that one, getting some heavy rain, small hail. But for the most part, Waxahachie is going to be north of most of this activity. But as this storm moves through, looks like that's going to continue on between, most of that's looking to move between Ennis and Palmer on towards Bristol and out of the county into Kaufman County there. This heavier storm, not a severe storm, moving into Blooming Grove right now. That will continue on to the northeast towards Rice and Alma, eventually moving into Corsicana as well. And then this heaviest storm, we will be looking at that moving into Hillsboro, and then again, like I said, up towards the the Highway 34 corridor here from Milford to Italy and on towards Ennis. And Renee, you're asking, what is the estimated time frame that this will be over for the night? Well, I thought we were done for the night. And Morgan, yeah, no hail yet, but the hail is still west of you, so you'll have to give that a little bit of time to progress. But I think certainly by 10 o'clock, this has all kind of progressed far enough out that we don't have to deal with that. Down in McLennan County right now, just west of Gulson, I know there's a heavy storm there. Doesn't look like that one is severe warned at this time. But if we kind of pull this back a little bit, you can see as far as our area is concerned, the last storm there is in the Hillsboro area. That continues on to the northeast. And then as far as, I see several people answering, I see 3 people answering Renee's question with different times. I'll handle answering that question and tell you that I suspect that we will be done with storms at very least by, what did I say? 10 o'clock tonight. I would be surprised if we had storms going on at that point. Maybe as early as 8, but I would say 8 to 10 o'clock we should be done and knocking this stuff out. I really have a hard time believing we would have anything beyond that point. Can't guarantee it. Clearly, we have more coming through now, but I think by then we should be able to get this stuff out of here and get it wrapped up. Okay, so that Hill County warning. So the hail sizes, hail sizes are coming down as far as what the National Weather Service is seeing for this storm near Hillsborough. So they're now saying 1-inch hail as opposed to the 1.75-inch hail they were saying earlier. So looks like that storm is weakening. So looks like as it moves into more stable air here, it's not dying out, but it is weakening generally at this point. And Carenza, I don't think Kaufman's in the clear at this point. I think that most of this may stay south of Kaufman, but I don't know that Kaufman's going to get off completely scot-free here. I think that the Kaufman area could still have a few storms going through before the night is done. But this severe thunderstorm warning here, they're keeping it in place. Of course, that's been trimmed back even more. Whitney, you're done in the Whitney area. This storm has yet to go through the Hillsborough area, and we'll see if it holds on to its intensity. It's going to continue probably to weaken as it gets closer to Hillsborough, go through. You can still see a decent hail core on this storm. So we're at least going, 1-inch hail, maybe 1.25 inches. But overall, the storm does look to be weakening a little bit from where it was before when golf ball sized hail was estimated with this particular one. So as we zoom this out again, you can kind of see the whole of our area. Of course, we cover 4 counties here primarily: Ellis, Hill, Johnson, and Navarro counties. You talk about Kaufman, as we were just a second ago, you got a little shower there. This storm here may actually make it up to the Kaufman area. Looks like it's moving northeast enough as it exits Ellis County. And then this particular storm, at this moment, I would guess that might be just south of there, but you'll just have to watch that storm as it goes through. But if it's any indication, if it's like these 2 storms, looks like it will weaken as it moves through that area, and looks like it could very well kind of run out of gas as it goes. So I'm not terribly concerned at this point about these storms. There's some hail out there, but it does look like they are on a weakening trend as we go forward. And I will keep an eye on any additional storms that we have out there. I would be very surprised if we manage to get additional storms to this. I suppose it's possible, but I would be surprised to see that. So the severe thunderstorm warning in Hill County, that continues until 7 o'clock. At least it's billed to. And then going forward from there, so if you'll give me just a moment, thank you, Cody, for your Venmo donation. Thank you, let's see, I lost that. You keep hiding it from me. Thank you, Priscilla, for your Cash App donation. Greatly appreciated there. But as far as this storm, that warning goes until 7 o'clock, so about another 23 minutes or so. And then I do believe that we may be able to avoid this storm, or at least the severe thunderstorm warning is what I'm trying to say, continuing on into southern Ellis County. If it continues that weakening trend, I think we'll be able to skip out on that, and we will see what actually actually happens going forward from there. So thank you so much for tuning in to this. I'm gonna have a seat, and it's been a long day already, but I'm gonna have a seat. I'll continue to monitor these, and if any of these storms intensify further, I'll bring you live coverage. Otherwise, I'll be posting updates on the page. So continue to follow South Metro Weather for more updates on what we hope to be this last round of storms.